Eala reveals Rafael Nadal gave me some tips as she opens up on unique practice session. Eala has revealed that Rafael Nadal gave her some tips for her game during a special practice session between the two earlier this year. A graduate of the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Eala was one of the big breakout stars of the 2025 season, reaching the last four of the WTA 1000 Miami Open and winning her first Grand Slam match at the US Open, among other feats. The world number 53 will now look to build on her historic 2025 campaign in 2026, and got the chance to hit with tennis icon and 22-time Grand Slam singles champion Nadal during a training session at his eponymous academy in Manacor. Footage of the hit between Eala and Nadal was shared on the academy's social media channels at the time, attracting huge interest from the fan bases of both players. Now, the academy has shared a short new video of Eala opening up about what it was like to hit with one of the greatest tennis players of all time. Speaking in the video, the 20-year-old revealed how Nadal gave her key advice to help her improve on her forehand ahead of 2026. She said, "It was so special for me. Obviously training with Rafa is something people and young kids can only dream about. So it was such a pleasure to share the court with him. He gave me some tips on my forehand and a few other small advices. This is the first time I've ever hit with him in my life, and it's just a memory that will last forever." Eala's 2026 season will begin in the first full week of the 2026 WTA Tour season, with the Filipina set to be among the top-seeded players at the WTA 250 Auckland Open. Action in Auckland will take place from January 5th to 11th, with Eala then heading to play at the Kooyong Classic, a famed exhibition event, in Melbourne the following week. That will then be followed by the opening Grand Slam event of the season at the Australian Open, with main draw action set to begin on Sunday, January 18th, inside Melbourne Park. It will be the first time that Eala has ever competed in the main draw of the Australian Open, having not made her Grand Slam debut until the French Open this past May. Eala has previously competed in the event's qualifying draw on 3 separate occasions, though lost in the opening round of qualifying in 2023, 2024, and 2025. Want more from Tennis 365? Add us as a preferred source on Google to your favorites list for tennis coverage you can trust. Read next, 2026 Australian Open. Who has received a wild card and will Nick Kyrgios be awarded one? On a quiet afternoon that felt anything but ordinary, Eala found herself standing across the net from someone she had watched since childhood. The red clay beneath her shoes was familiar, the rhythm of bouncing the ball before a rally second nature. Yet the presence on the other side of the court transformed the moment into something unforgettable. Rafael Nadal, 22-time Grand Slam champion, Spanish icon, and living symbol of resilience, was not just practicing nearby. He was practicing with her. For Eala, the session was more than a brush with greatness. It was a lesson in mindset, humility, and the details that separate potential from excellence. "I was nervous at first," Eala admitted with a laugh later on. "But Rafa has this calm energy. Once we started hitting, it just felt like tennis again." That sense of grounding is something Nadal has mastered over decades at the top of the sport. And on that day, he shared pieces of it with a young player who represents the future. A meeting of generations. Eala's journey has already been remarkable. From the Philippines to international courts, she has carried not only her own dreams but the hopes of a nation eager to see one of its own succeed on the global tennis stage. Training at the Rafa Nadal Academy gave her access to world-class facilities, but it also placed her in an environment shaped by Nadal's philosophy: intensity with respect, ambition balanced by discipline. Still, nothing quite compares to stepping onto the court with the man whose name hangs above the academy itself. It wasn't a long session, Eala explained, but it was very focused. Every drill had a purpose. Nadal didn't overwhelm her with technical jargon. Instead, he observed. He watched how she moved, how she prepared for shots, how she reacted after mistakes. Then, between rallies, he offered simple, precise advice. Play every point with meaning. One of the first tips Nadal shared wasn't about forehands or footwork. It was about intention. "He told me to play every point with meaning," Eala said. "Even in practice. Especially in practice." For Nadal, There's no such thing as a casual ball. Every rally is a rehearsal for pressure, for fatigue, for moments when the match feels like it's slipping away. Eala took that message to heart, realizing that greatness isn't built only under stadium lights but in the quiet hours when no one is watching. He said that if you respect the point will respect you, she recalled. It's advice that sounds poetic, but on the court, it translates into discipline, recovering quickly, choosing shots wisely, and staying mentally present no matter the score. Small adjustments, big impact. Nadal also offered technical insights, though he kept them refreshingly simple. A slight adjustment to her positioning on return. An emphasis on using her legs more when defending. A reminder to trust her instincts rather than forcing winners. What surprised me, Eala said, was how much he focused on balance. Not just physical balance, but emotional balance. When Eala missed a shot and instinctively frowned, Nadal noticed. He told me, "It's okay. Next point." That's it. No drama. Coming from someone known for his intensity, the message carried weight. Nadal's competitiveness, Eala learned, is rooted not in anger but in acceptance, the ability to let go instantly and move forward. Lessons beyond the court. As the session wound down, the conversation shifted away from drills. Nadal asked Eala about her goals, her experiences traveling on tour, and how she handles expectations. He reminded me that everyone has their own timeline, she said. He said not to rush and not to compare. In a sport that constantly measures players by rankings and results, that reassurance felt grounding. Nadal himself took years to refine his game, to endure injuries, and to evolve. His career, he implied, was proof that patience can coexist with ambition, carrying the moment forward. After the practice ended, Eala didn't rush to post about it or frame it as a defining moment. Instead, she treated it as what it truly was, a step along the way. "I wrote everything down later," she admitted. "Not just the tips, but how it made me feel." That feeling of belonging, of possibility, is something she carries into every training session now. When fatigue sets in, she remembers Nadal's intensity. When frustration creeps in, she remembers his calm. For Eala, the unique practice session wasn't about sharing a court with a legend. It was about seeing, up close, what excellence looks like when it's quiet, focused, and generous. "He didn't have to give me his time," she said, "but he did. And that means a lot."